We're getting ready here. Getting ready to start. Okay. So obviously the situation with Minnesota is pretty fishy. There have been a lot of reports on the Jacobson cat, on him being the umbrella man. It's really tough to say. There's definitely something, if you do comparisons in image, the two guys are there are slight differences, and there are also phenotypic similarities, like in the nose structure particularly, and the eye spacing, and the differences could be potentially, like the compression effect of the mask, of the gas mask, like changing the way the face appears a little bit, or it could not be the same guy. So it's still up in the air at this point, but there is something very suspicious. Now I have verified that is an actual dude. That police officer is an actual dude, and he really exists, and he's got history and stuff. And there's nothing really standing out in this record, pretty much at all. So so far, totally normal dude. Now, what's very interesting about the situation is a bunch of like secondary and tertiary MSM has in the past 24 hours put out articles denying that he's the umbrella man, and it's quite a few of them. So if you do a Google search for the guy, for St. Paul PD, you're pretty much going to get a big list of people that have written articles stating that it is not the guy. That is coming from the public relations officer for St. Paul, Minnesota. All of the articles are referencing the public relations officer of St. Paul on his statement. And nothing is really known about that or the situation inside of St. Paul PD. But overall, obviously there are, like, combined with the fishiness of what's going on with the timing of the events that are taking place, it's not really, there's basically no risk to assuming that there's something bigger going on, into digging into it and looking further and being critical in examination and trying to figure out if there's anything going on at all. Yeah, right. Yeah, he was the first one to store property. So the police officer was the first, and he also did it pretty directly, and it was in very close proximity to gas getting deployed, and whatever the initial protests were. So there's definitely, but I mean, the fishiness doesn't have to even stem from this individual incident, because it's already entirely established, that you're having, like, fucking relatives of the legislature run fucking destabilization operations through NGOs. Like, that's already historically precedented and like it's all known in the past for, like, Eric Garner and for Ferguson. And so, since the history is there, there's no reason, and because the situation right now in the United States is like we are just like pending slow coup, basically. There is no there's no reason to assume that it's not something fishy going on. Like, it should be all hands on deck for anybody that's in Minnesota, including the police department. Like, if they're not involved in it, they should be fucking suspicious as fuck, and they should be looking up everybody's ass that is in the area, especially people from out of town. Anybody that's involved in these protests that's traveled there should be checked out. And then, presumptuously what you would arrive at if you had like a magic lens and you could just analyze the entire crowd of people that are involved in the you would, you know, presumably what you would find is a bunch of people that don't belong there interlaced into this, you know, all the people that are there in the chaos. And then by tracing them, you would probably find connection to an NGO, because the NGOs are basically how, you know, most of the time are how they're moving money around in the tax exempt model. So I just wanted to do a quick comment on that to kind of let people know where at least I'm at personally. My perspective is that, you know, it does seem like there could be something there, and it could be the actual same motherfucking guy. That's not ruled out. It's also not conclusive that it is the same guy at this point. What I am saying is that there are almost 100% agitators through an NGO that are operating in these protests. They have to be identified so that you can get the legal and economic entity that is signed on paper that is putting funding into it, that is sending them there. Like, you have to figure out who's sending these people there, because they're not going to be just showing up on their own. It's going to be an organization that's on paper. So you need to the people that are in Minnesota need to be thinking of creative ways to determine who is there that doesn't belong there, that's not from the area, that has showed up right before all this shit started kicking off. So create a brainstorming session. If you like logs, you can always look at that. You would, of course, if you're in the region area where the hotels are that people are flying in from and staying at in Minnesota, if you're police in Minnesota and you're just figuring this shit out now and you want to figure it out, just go in there and ask them for their logs, and then you can check it out and see who's in there from wherever they're coming from. Or you can go to the hotel parking lots and look at fucking license plates or rental cars and figure out who's driving around in rental cars that flew in. Yeah, and it's tough to say. I mean, at this point in time, you know, like police departments, organic police departments that are composed of real police, you know, like regular police officers, they should be. So the fucking cops in Minnesota should be fucking suspicious and trying to track down if people are running an op in their AO, because they're gonna use you in your department, and it's just gonna look bad for everybody. You know what I mean? So the police should be interested in getting to the bottom of this shit. That's it, guys. Talk to you later.